Okay, we back live, y'all. Welcome to the show. Welcome, 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 welcome. If you didn't know what's going on, give them some of that real. Okay, we back. We got Mr. Roman Price. Y'all know what's going on, and if you don't know, this is the Boerboel Show. I'm your host, Jordan Pittman with Exotic Boerboels, and we doing interviews today. This is not our regularly scheduled Boerboel breakdown and discussion. This is something totally different. This is a insider perspective. We're getting it straight from Mr. Roman Price, insider perspective on his views, personal beliefs. We bring Mr. Price to the table because he is a upstanding breeder, highly um, respected. He has an honorable man, a family man. He has his dogs living on the farm and running in the pack the way that they were originally designed, the way that they did in South Africa. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna go into it. What's up? We can take it from the top, Mr. Price. What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. It's been a long, interesting day. Um, trying to work around various time restraints. It it kind of limits me as much as what all I can get done. Because normally by this time in the afternoon, I'm still grinding on the farm. I normally get done probably around 7:30 or so.
Oh yeah, it don't stop. Tell me about it. You see me sweating, man. I was moving like a speeding bullet trying to get here and fulfill my obligation, do what I said I was gonna do. I'm slow, but I'm for sure. I'm sorry about that, boy, buddies, but I made it though.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good.
So we're in the beginning. We had some technical difficulties, but we sound like we good coming in loud and clear. And so we're gonna bring it back. Let's just take it from the top, Mr. Price. My original way that we met was from the beginning because I was referred to you, by my dog talks, just having casual dog conversation. Somebody, Cordell, told me that I gotta check you out. He said, "Hey man, this guy's an outstanding breeder. He got 8, 9, 10 Boerboels running around in a pack, man. The way that it's supposed to go." And he was like, "Man, you gotta see him. He's a cool dude, straight up, man. Check out his dogs out. I highly recommend you check him out." So I go to look, and I had sent you the request on Facebook, and you were screening your Facebooks. You
Hmm.
was like, "Hold on, man. Who are you, and how do I know you?" I'm like, man, what's going on? What kind of life you living? You got to screen your Facebooks. Right. And then I find out deep. I say, oh wow. Got you had you in a paranoid state where you was feeling some kind of way. Hold on, I got to support. Call me.
All right.
All right. Hello. Yeah, that
Yes,
was
sir.
family. You got to double check when family call twice.
No doubt.
That's you got to stop and take it because
Always.
yeah. So that was family. So
Always.
family first, family over everything. My
That's
Boerboel
right.
family, we still here together though. And so later, I come to find out, man, that you was under attack from all angles. You was being what they do, I call Facebook jumped, where you
Yeah.
get it. Ain't
No
that what
doubt.
they was doing, man? They was on
Yeah.
your case, man, left and
Yeah.
right. And then see, I have experienced it myself. They want to censor you. They don't like what you're saying. You got a counter belief. You got a counter view. And then what do? They want to say that you're wrong or you don't want to hear it. And you, like me, you have the facts, you have the evidence, you have the science to
Right.
back it up.
Right.
And that what they don't know. So you done got kicked out of all kinds. So talk about that and bring us up to speed, Mr. Price. For a lot of people that don't know who you are, where you from, how you and your first dog. That's what we talked about.
Okay. Yeah. I'm. My name is Roman A. Price. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. By way of Alabama, because I'm from Alabama. That's home for me. Southeast Alabama. Probably ever heard of a town called Dothan. Dothan, Alabama is in the corner of Alabama, where Alabama, Florida, and Georgia connects down there. And yeah, I'm just a country boy, man, and I love dogs. I always have all my life. always wanted dogs, always had to have a dog. Um, I care less about a cat. you
No,
know,
that uh-huh.
I don't go out killing cats or anything like that, but I just cats just they don't do it for me. Uh, that big silly dog sitting up there licking the window and licking glasses and everything else. That's my buddy. Or the guy that sit up under the table and you didn't want something your mama cooked. He's sitting there eating it all, cleaning the
Right,
table off. Yeah, that guy.
right. Yeah, yeah, your best friend, that's the homie. That's the
yeah,
homie.
yeah, yeah. That one that'll climb up in your bed and and go up under the covers. He waiting
Yeah.
on you to come to bed.
Ain't
yeah,
nothing like it though. Ain't nothing like it. I got
yeah,
my new little puppy over here getting his training in. He been
yeah,
here. He was a good boy today. I took him outside. I rushed him out there when I just got back. Remember, I was out here earlier. I just got back. I rushed him outside and they had him use the bathroom. He took a long whiz. I was so proud of my boy, like he was my son, man.
yeah.
He's the first time that he ain't made a mistake. You know what I mean?
That's
But
awesome.
hey, he doing his best. You know how it is with these
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
you got
just
the right idea though. And you remind me of I swear, like you said in the country, man, just the dogs in the yard and the farm and a bunch
yeah.
of dogs running around. I love it. I love the way you do that, man. And it's just like the natural way, ain't it?
It's good for them too because it's easier for you to see the pecking order, how they do things. You pay close attention to who's your leaders, and the leaders aren't always the loud ones. Sometimes the ones that are quiet and laid back will be leaders, and you don't know it until you see how everyone else responds to them. Like got some that'll get rowdy and get loud, and then they got some that'll go just walk up to them and calm all down. I was like, wow, what did he say?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
It,
That behaviors though, you get the
yeah.
witnesses like, okay, he ain't and then I like go ahead though. I ain't mean to interrupt you.
No, no, you didn't. That's how it goes, man. It just you see that authority comes through clearly, and just watching them how they interact. And when it's time for them to do a job, you'll see the same thing. You'll see who, like when they hog hunt, they go for a hog. You'll see who's the alpha because the alpha will go for the head and hold the ears.
Right.
When some of the others will go behind and bite at the hocks or bite some other part of the body. But normally, the leaders will go for the head because what they're doing, they're holding the head and protecting everybody else from being cut by the tusk of the hog.
Yeah, it's his safety and his security. And I
Yeah,
like the way it's so natural. It's a beautiful thing that
it is.
humans can learn a lot from because they so busy looking and observing each other,
Yeah,
trying to figure out how can I help? Okay, so this is what we're doing. What should I do? How can I assist? Right. And
yeah.
it's a natural way of doing things. And I love it. I love it because of like what we doing. It's just like if you see something that's going, how can I help and be of assistance? And it's
Mm-hmm.
the perfect example for humanity right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what we need in this world. And be
Mm-hmm.
able to spread this message of love, and cooperation. Really,
Mm-hmm.
but it's out of a love and protection of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
It's out of a love and the protection of the community,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they operate as a unit. And
Mm-hmm.
that to me is really like authentic and a special thing to witness. Like you can't, it's like art, you know. I love it, Mr. Price, what you do with adults. So how did you end up with that, with so many? You started out, where did you get your start in the Boerboels?
Well, I started with two. My first two were females, and I told you that story earlier. How I had to. My wife wasn't with it initially because she was like, "Nah, we're not going to spend that kind of money on a dog." Had never spent that kind of money on a dog. Never heard of spending that kind of money on a dog. She's like, "Well, you done lost your mind. I could do. I could get something else in my house with that." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. So I had to figure out a way how to come up with a plan. And so the only plan I could come up with was start an argument. So and yeah, so
You
you
silly Mr. Rice.
you know you ain't gonna get a word in, so no problem. You do something real silly, and then all of a sudden now she mad. Okay. And then I left in the middle of the night. It was 2 nights before Christmas that year, so I had already talked to the breeder and told him I was on my way, and so I just had to figure out how I was going to do it. And so I wound up 8 hours away from the house. I drove and got my puppy, and when I was there, I made a decision that okay, since I'm already in hot water, I might as well go ahead and swim and get two. So that's
Yeah.
instead of coming home with one, I got two, and then I called her and told her where I was at. You where?
Yeah,
But
man. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. I won't be in trouble. I might as well be in big trouble. I might as well be in big trouble.
yeah,
Go all the way.
yeah.
Go all the
Uh,
way.
you'll know if she love you or not, right?
Yeah, you find out quick, don't you?
But ever since they came, man, my whole family's been in love with them. Um, my immediately they went to protecting the children, even as puppies.
Oh,
Protecting my boys. They were sleeping with my boys, following my boys around. So they've grown up with them. My wife, they love her. She loves them. You know, anything that and especially with me, man, I tell you, a lot of times when things aren't may seem not to be working out quite right, these dogs are like they're like therapists. It's that's exactly what it like a therapist, and
yep.
they sit back and they read you, they listen to you, and you whether you're raging or ranting about whatever or just talking, um, so they're paying attention like they really understand the conversation, but they're reading and they your vibes, and
Mhm.
if you are in a place where you need love or uh, feeling like you want more love, because that's one thing about everybody. I don't care who you are, regardless of what your race, your faith, your beliefs, whatever. Everybody in this world wants one thing, and that's love, to be loved by somebody. And
Yeah.
so that dog knows that, and that dog will bring you. You could be the meanest person in the world. That dog will love you if that's your dog. You know what I'm saying? But now,
Right.
if it's
Even
not your
Cruella de
dog, if it's not your dog, he'll know it too that you're the meanest person, and he gonna want you for the wrong reason though.
yeah.
He gonna want to
Yeah.
keep you away from his people.
Yeah. Even Cruella de Vil had a dog. Where it was she a sinister character? She was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
vicious, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
and she,
So
and she wanted to make coats out of all the puppies.
yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but the dog can bring out the best in all of us, and I think that's a
absolutely,
beautiful thing too. That's a way for us
absolutely.
to bond and come together. But it didn't be, and you meet some of the best people that you come across in the world because they
Yeah,
happier people. You feel better, you carry yourself better, and then you wind up treating others better also.
yeah, absolutely.
And so I noticed that with people when I'm dealing with people, my people's dog people, right? And I also noticed that it was crazy to me though. It brings me to the point I was going that we was discussing earlier though. Like what the people are coming at you, they coming at you so hard, and I see that they was attacking at you from left and right, right in the very beginning, and you just got these dogs and you doing it the right way. What was the controversy?
Well, bottom line, it's when you're doing something that's affecting their money. That's what it boils down to. You're making moves that's affecting their money, whether they've got to spend more money to keep up, or your your program is challenging them, or
Mhm.
and or sharing information. If you share freely, give information, and it brings awareness to the community of some things that they should have been talking about already. You know what I'm saying? Like the pink elephant in the middle of the room, type
Yeah,
situation. No, don't tiptoe past him. Yeah, that he may want something to eat. Talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So you're when you're sharing with people, no strings attached. Um, and now they're becoming wiser and more informed and making better informed decisions. But you just affected somebody's pocketbook, and now the
Mm,
person that you affected, they coming at you. They gonna get their little crew together, and they're gonna start. They coming for you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um,
And then they want to silence you and kick you off the group. It's like
exactly.
y'all crazy. It's wild. It's you can't silence me, and
Right,
you can't silence the facts. You can't change the truth. I'm giving, and that's another thing I want to
and that's the thing.
recognize. You know, they don't know this about you too. Me and you was in the class together. That was another way that we ended up getting more tighter
Right,
because we was taking a class. This is extracurricular. This is something that we don't just studying about
right.
breeding, enhancing our knowledge. I'm taking an online course, and then I guess who I see in the course online is Mr. None other than Mr. Price.
Yeah,
And they don't want to argue with this, but I think that leads me to maybe press it even harder. You know what I mean? We need to press even harder and spread the information that they're trying to hide. I don't
right,
understand why they want to hide information. Is that what it is? I never understood it because I'm not the one that I'm open to free speech, exchanging information. And these little groups, man, they got these little cliques. They don't want to exchange the information or they don't want to hear counter views. It's like they trying to run dictatorships, right? They're trying to
right,
run dictatorships. So I understand, I get it because if anything counter to what your position is, it makes it seem like you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, though. I say, and like let's all get gain more information and get further the truth. They don't understand that it's about building. It's about building together. It's never
right,
going to take nothing. You ain't never taking nothing out of my pockets, right? Yeah,
right.
may the best man win. May the best dog win. Plain and simple.
I
Y'all,
feel like there's enough people um, in this world that want what you have, so it's you wouldn't be a threat to me, because what I'm doing, some people may not like the way I'm doing it, so but they love the way you doing it. So yeah, to each his own.
yeah,
My thing is, man, I want I breed for temperament, health, then confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Because I want a strong minded dog. I want him to be solid in his behavior. You know what I'm saying? Um, I want a healthy dog uh, because that's going to increase his longevity. And I want a dog that's built right. Uh, and again, this about the standards, the breed standard, knowing what the breed standard is and why it's been put in place, because that's the functioning of the dog. If the
mhm.
dog can't function, then you'll be like those bully guys that you got to haul your little buddy around in a wagon because he can't walk by himself.
So let me stop you there because you
Hmm.
said the standard and the function. Because so are you one of the IDIS school of thought? Which comes first, the form or the function? So does the form lead to the dog that can perform the task based off, or do you select the dog that can perform the task and that is the proper form?
The dog that can perform the task, his body um is gonna show you the what it looks like functioning. Um, so as you building a dog for a certain job, um, if he's like, say for instance, like the what they call the ratters, the dogs that the rat catching dogs. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Terriers
terriers, right?
to drown
So
most. Yeah.
yeah, so if you a great Dane ain't gonna do a good job at that. You see what I'm saying? So he's too big for that job, you know. So you got to have a guy that's smaller, with a more slender head, and snout and shorter legs, so he can get down there where he can do his job.
Right.
Um, a dog that needs to cover more ground, he needs more leg. Um, So depending on what the purpose of that dog is is gonna is how you building him, and then that's gonna decide the form of the dog. You see what I'm saying? Like say for instance, um, a dog with a big, deep, wide chest. Well, he's not going to run fast. You know, he's top heavy. Also, that dog is more susceptible to bloat. Um, and that, which is a real big issue if you love your dog. You know. Um,
Right. And let me stop you though.
mhm.
The Boerboel standard calls for a big, deep, wide barrel chest. Right.
Right. The one when I'm thinking about the deep wide chest, I'm thinking about like how you see a lot of bulldogs, and with the bowed legs, the bowed arms,
That
because
sound
the
like
chest
it's
is
yeah. That sounds like what they're looking for.
nah. Well, that's okay. That
I
that's
mean,
cool.
if you look at
That's
the dogs that's winning in
that.
South
Well,
Africa,
but see, those dogs aren't working either.
no, that what I'm saying. So the working dog in the Boerboel breed, I don't know. I mean, so
That's that.
I was trying to get
That's
your opinion.
because
Which
that's
one is
because
correct?
some people. That's because people are tweaking and adjusting and twerking the standard to get in what they want in. You understand? And they're no longer being concerned about the functionality of the dog.
Hmm.
And so when you do that, you get away from the standard
Right.
because now you got all this stuff coming in here. Like say for instance how um, they've adjusted the a Boerboel should have a scissor bite, but then they give way to underbite. You know, well, if that dog doesn't have a scissor bite, whatever it bites, it's going to let it go because it can't hold it. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If his teeth aren't set right, then when he bite, he can't hold. And when you see the dog actually working with his mouth, you'll understand that better. When I've seen my dogs rip the back straps out of a hog, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because they got the proper bite, then yeah, it makes sense. You know, if you say if you the alpha dog, if he takes on the head of the hog and his bite isn't correct, then he can't hold the head of that hog. So now he puts not only himself in danger, but everybody else because he's the wrong guy for that job. He's not properly equipped to handle their job. You see what I'm saying? So now
Hmm.
everybody's in danger. So that guy needs to have a proper bite in order to hold that head to control the hog's head from everybody being open by a hog tusk. But if his bite is off, he can't hold the head. If he's got too much jowls, he bite that hog. He a lot of times he biting inside of his mouth. So what he's gonna do? He's gonna let go because he feel that pain in his mouth from him biting himself. So he can't hold it. So again, he put everybody else that's trusting him in jeopardy. Uh, if your dog is not long winded, he can't run, then they can't count on him to help catch whatever it is that need to be caught. So or if the dog, if he's afraid of water or afraid of loud noises or a bang or gunshots or stuff like that, well, he hear a gun, he gonna turn around, or he see a gun, he gonna turn around, because he's afraid, and or thunder, yeah, things that the dog need to be comfortable with in order to perform.
So when you're talking about performance, we take
Hmm.
let's go ideal Boerboel. What is his capabilities and what is his task to perform? What is his number one task to perform?
Protect his family and property from all threats.
Okay. And in order to be able to fulfill that task, how I don't understand. Okay, so yeah, how do you feel that? Explain to me how does the standard deem a dog proper to perform the task of protecting the family?
Okay, if that dog, if he can't jump, uh, clear, something small, like my dogs jump over a 4 foot gate. Uh, if certain threats may outside the backyard, front yard, or take for instance, for an example, if your child is in the driveway, but the dogs are behind the fence in the backyard, and you stepped in the house for a brief second, but somebody's been watching your child all, what I'm saying, all day long, and they see here's my opportunity. The dogs are secured. Jordan's inside. Here's my chance to grab that baby. Right?
Okay.
God forbid he come in the driveway and nobody see him. He grabbed that child and the dog's just barking, yak 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 yak. What did they do? They didn't do their job.
Not at
You
all.
know. Uh, I need my dogs to be able to come over that fence, and deal with that problem. You know.
Yeah, I
Uh,
see your dogs jumping over the 4 foot or 4 foot.
yeah.
They come out there flying, eight,
Right.
nine of them at a, eight, nine, one after another.
If one of my kids is across the creek and a threat is on the other side of that water coming toward my child, I don't want that water to stop my dog from crossing because he's afraid of swimming.
Right.
I want him
So,
to go through that water and make it happen.
what are your thoughts on the dogs being bigger and better? The ones that they selected in the bigger as better and the international shows, and then how do you feel about the appraisals?
That's I think that's fluff. I to me I see it as think about being really hungry, and all they got to feed you is cotton candy. You you eat it, and you may eat a lot of it, but it did nothing for you. You know what I mean? You get full off of it, but it hurts you more than anything, right? Because if the standard is slacking, then and nobody's willing to hold to the standard, then it changes the form of everything, and then now everything is uh, out of control, or out of whack, out of form. Um, Now there's no way it can do what it's supposed to do. You know, it from that point on it'll be. I remember when they used to do. You know what I'm saying? They used to do this. I remember when they were able to do. They can no longer do it anymore
Right.
because you've gotten away from um, a standard. You've got away from the set uh, rules.
Yeah, and then see, it's my issue is this interpretation, right? When you can define it your own way, have it your way right away, every time, it make it fit to your definition, and you will be able to point out little different details, and that's tend to what I see. That's what I tend to see. Uh, Inconsistencies in the standard and the selection, and it's problematic because when you have a standard like that, it's like you never will ever be able to achieve the ideal. That's my big issue. It's a floating standard. Nobody will ever meet the standard if we have a changing standard, evolving standard where it changes over time or it changes by based off of what's popular. And
So
that's
then, so then you have to stop moving it. It needs
yeah,
to, become solid.
yeah, yeah. So what are your thoughts on the change in the black Boerboel? The addition of the black Boerboel, was it a beneficial thing, and how does that affect the breed in totality? What are your thoughts?
Well, initially, um, black was brought in by using an outcross, another
Uh,
breed, and so the black dog brought in a change in temperament, and depending on what type of dog are being brought in to because it just wasn't black dogs that were brought in that changed things. There's some other things that have been brought in that have changed the temperament of the Boerboel, where breeders are looking for size and color, or looking for shape, or whatever whatever they're looking for. But every time you step out to bring something else in, you run the risk of changing the temperament of the Boerboel forever. Um, because that's whatever you brought in is going to always be there, and it may take several generations for it to reveal itself, but you know, it will happen.
So yeah, it's kind of really difficult for me to go in with all of this purebred so on. If it's a cross mixed in with something else, it it's just difficult for me to rationalize that because I look at a dog like it's a dog.
Well,
All
here's the thing, Jordan. Um, the With this dog being from South Africa, and the Boerboel being a land race, the Boerboel being designed and constructed by the its environment, this geographical location, all this dog was made from God, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Perfectly designed. Like, say for instance, like a lion. You know,
Mhm.
a black lion in roaming through Africa. It just it ain't happening. You see what I'm saying? And that color is giving for a reason. That dog around his eyes, the black ring around his eyes, and the black on his muzzle is there for a reason. It deflects light, the glare of the sun, just like ball players wear the black under their eyes. You know what I'm saying? To protect their eyes from the glare of the stadium lights. That dog is designed for a reason. The flesh around that dog's neck, that you see a lot of the flesh around. Well, that's there for a reason. It's for, if that dog is grabbed by a lion, or grabbed by a hyena, or grabbed by something else, instead of biting into muscle, it's biting into flesh. I mean, biting into the skin. You know what I'm saying? So it's less life threatening for him to get his skin open. Like, take for instance, I've had one that um, had her head tore open, in the from the top of her head, and all the side was hanging under her chin, because she got into it with another one. When she went in there on her babies, and that's a no go. Yeah. Well,
S-
if
So hold on, Mr. Price.
yeah.
When you say the board, I want you to get too far ahead because I want to make I got a question,
Okay.
and it's an important question.
Okay.
When you look at traditional land races, I would quote like the Carolina dog, the dingo,
Hmm.
even the South African village dog. I forget the name of it, but those dogs all have this feral dog look. If you even look at the dogs in the country down south, that mutt. They all look. You know what a mutt kind of look like, a
Yeah.
coyote. He kind of looks like a coyote, a stray. Those are the traditional land races. When you're thinking of the Boerboel, puts me more in the mind frame of the British European style dogs that's traveled with the settlers and the colonizers. So I don't think that it could. I don't think because of that. How does it still fall in when you crossing in, when it's a known fact that we crossed in bull mastiffs, right? We know that we crossed in various breeds from other countries. How could it be a still remain a traditional land race?
Well, for one, the the two land races that come out of South Africa, the Ridgeback and the Boerboel. Um, the Boerboel is 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 a, derived off that ridgeback, and you can see it in some of them. Even still, you see the little ridge in their hockles when they're excited about something or when they see something. You ever seen your dog the ridge stand up in your dog, one of your dogs
Yeah,
before?
yeah. It
Yeah,
comes up the back. Yep.
yeah, and so it's in there. That that same the same features on some of the Boerboels. You see some of them the more hound type, and they've got more, and that's the Ridgeback has that more of that hound head and ears, right?
That's still an ancient breed, though. That goes back to like some of the Sphinx dogs. That's an ancient breed, the Thai, the Ridgeback. When you get into the
Right,
Ridgeback, and that's
right,
still crossed in. That's still, if you look at those features, the pointy nose, the rise ears, those features still is very different than what we see in the Rhodesian Ridgeback, which would be a cross of more of a that they use for hunting.
right. And that dog had longer legs. He was more of a endurance runner.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
able to keep up with on a hunt with
So
uh with whatever's running. So he's able to run with it, right?
right. So that means it can't be is once you crossing it with another breed, like a pure breed that's used, you know what I'm saying? The dogs that they was traveling with, it's no longer native to that country. That's the definition of a pure, I mean a land race, right?
Okay. Well, this is where the dogs are coming from. So that endurance, that hardiness of that land race is what gave strength to whatever they're bringing into it. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? Even though the outcross is changing it from the original land race, but
Right.
that land race is giving longevity
Right.
and bringing and so everybody's giving something to this party. You know what I'm saying? Even the village dogs. You know what I mean? Their their ability to withstand certain diseases or things, certain traits that enhances their survival is now being given to that cross that they're bringing in. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Right.
now, if the wrong one is brought in, bad things gonna come too. You know what I mean? So if you're uh, not making a wise choice when you're bringing in a dog, if it's for a look and not necessarily a function,
Right.
then you wind up uh, switching. It's in exchange for you're losing something that's going to be valuable, and you may not see it until later. You know, like take for instance, um, the black dog. Well, with that black dog came a lot of skin issues. Yeah, when you that blue dilute is his skin issues. A lot of issues with that. You know what I'm saying? So that came in with that black dog. If that dog, you know, take for instance, if these dogs can't eat chicken, what? You know, if your dog, if that's all we got to eat, that dog got to eat chicken. You know what I'm saying? If chicken gonna kill him or he gonna starve to death because he can't eat chicken, it ain't gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? Um, so
Right. Right.
that came from somewhere, you know, and I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of preservatives and things that they're adding to kibble because regular chicken don't cause no problems for my dogs now, but there's some some of the families reported that kibble, the chicken kibble, is causing problems. And so, well, it's not the chicken itself; it's something that they're adding. It's some sort of preservative that's being added that's affecting the dog. Uh,
Okay, hold on.
mhm.
So you were saying though about we was on the subject that you were saying that bringing in something that is only good if it's something that is not having something that or bringing out something that was already there. The black dog brought in the skin issues. Maybe those skin issues was already there. Who knows?
Well,
But
brother,
we
well,
definitely know. I
you
don't.
think
I
about the dogs before. that
Mhm.
wasn't having that issue, and then you've brought in a cross that has now all of a sudden we got some issues. You know, where did it come from? If it wasn't, if you know, if it didn't, if
So I don't think here's my well, I agree with what you're saying, and if that was the case, but I don't with the Boerboel, I don't think that that's 100% the case because I know that we was having skin issues with just brown dogs, and I think that it's the skin issues with the Boerboel is more to do with the coat length. If you look at
mm,
dogs with the length of the coat, that length that you know that they're gonna have, you're gonna have a few with some skin issues.
a double coat, talking about the ones that have double. You ever had
Yeah.
some puppies that seem a little more fluffy
Mm-hmm.
than others? Because some got a real slick coat, and some got this like fluffy type coat.
Yeah, the longer hair tend to not have as much skin issues. The ones with the furrier ones are those lend to the master genetics. In my experience, they tend to be larger. So if you got a puppy with a little bit the longer hair, that's my experience. I don't know about you, but the short hair dogs, that's something that is common in short hair dogs, skin issues. uh,
Okay,
Dogs with more wrinkler, the excess wrinkles. So if you look at Neos, they have skin issues. If you're looking at Sharpays, they have skin issues because they got excess wrinkles. If you're looking at dogs that's like the smooth coated dogs, sometimes they have the main issues.
okay.
So that what I was thinking. That's my belief on that. I ain't saying that you're right or you wrong, but we both can learn from each. I don't know, you know.
So you're saying that dogs, and that's a pretty interesting. The dogs with the more fur, you said they more sided with the mastiff. So have you noticed their their bone structure, is their bone structure thicker
Yeah. Have you?
than some of the
My fault. What'd you say?
so the ones with the more fur are, do they have you noticed they have thicker bone? Because you can tell uh, your puppies which one's going to be bigger uh, by certain things that you check on them as puppies,
Yeah.
and as you watch it, you'll see, yeah, that one, those are going to go bigger.
Mm,
With the in the DNA test, genetic DNA test will back this up. Uh, and from my experience, certain ones that you'll see on the DNA test there that the weight is supposed to be higher than the one that uh, like ones with a thinner tail. Um, the tail is a direct indicator of the spine. You know what I'm saying? It's connected to the spine. So the thinner tail is a thinner bone. You know what I'm saying? Bone
mhm.
structure. Um, Also, those puppies, uh, they do better with swimming in water.
Right, right. And I think it's important that we highlight this at this time because when in that class that we was taking, the preservation dog breeding class that we
Hmm.
was taking, one of the things that they were saying is that our job as breeders is to preserve certain traits and
That's right.
characteristics. And so what
Why should we preserve it?
why should we preserve it and how should
Hmm.
we preserve it? And then these packages, each dog comes these genetic packages, and each traits, they're not just one trait. Like you don't have a strong bite, and then that just you're gonna have the wider head, a bunch of different things
Right. That goes with
that
it. Correct.
that lend to that ability, right?
Yep.
So when we're talking about one of the things that she says is coefficients of inbreeding depression. Dogs be ended up breeding themselves into a corner, um, and that is the true problem why you can't health test out of issues like the English Bulldog is experiencing in Norway, the Cavalier King Charles is experiencing, and like you can't breed those dogs ethically healthily because of the
Why?
inbreeding,
Why not?
because of the inbreeding.
Hmm. I I don't agree with that one. But because if you've got a healthy dog that's clear of genetic diseases,
Hmm.
and you breed him with a dog that's infected, then now you're gonna get all your puppies are gonna have um, all the puppies are gonna have at least um, one trait. Um, they will be carriers. All the puppies will be carriers of whatever that genetic issue is. So, which means that it won't necessarily show up in that puppy. He'll live with it. So now his life just expectancy just increased. But if you then if that puppy is bred with another clear dog, now not instead of the whole litter being carriers, only half the litter will be carriers. So you see what I'm saying? So you're working problems out.
The way that she explains it in her articles, let me see if I can bring up one up. The problem with purebred dog breeding is not the fact that they're not health tested, but the fact that we have unknown genetic mutations that occur. And what happens is you don't know what they are until after they happen. And it's only a matter of time. Part of the problem is the fact that these mutations at the DNA genetic level
Yeah.
uh, cause the dogs to not be able to synthesize proteins or metabolize proteins and do things with proteins that the body is supposed to be able to do these functions of proteins, and it causes for it eventually shorten lifespans. That's the long term, that the basically the bottom line. When the body is not performing the way that it's supposed to perform, then what happens is you start to get these issues. Like it could be a kidney issue, it could be a liver issue, it could be a heart issue, it could be a you see what I'm saying? Because the body is not able to do what it's supposed to do and function at 100%.
Right.
To
So at that point, you know that okay, now your COI is too high. You've continued to breed to the point now you bringing forth the trouble. So you've got to step back
and do what?
and breed away from that. So now you need dogs that you know that are clear. And the only way to know if they're clear is through genetic DNA testing. So that way you can breed away from that trouble. Yes, it may bring something else into your line that you don't know of until you get it to that tight spot again. But uh, you've got to you thinking about the longevity of your dogs, and if the dog won't make it to a certain age, you know 5 years or whatever, then that's a problem. Um, I think by 5 years they ought to be retired because now um, a female being bred after 5 years old, a litter of puppies is doing more harm to her than help. Because now it's taken away from her life, and you'll see it in the like when the puppy suck her down. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen some litter of puppy suck down a mom until she like, dang, it's she lost all her weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, they taking it off of her quicker.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, I done seen that many times. I done seen that many times. But my dogs don't never look like my dogs be swole all the whole time, the whole from the start to finish. Because I'm feeding them that thick that it feed has got a lot of fat that I feed them. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Price, because guess what? Um, I feel like what you said earlier was more um, to my perspective or my views when you said that the Boerboel is got many different breeds contributing to it. It's got all of these different things, like the Africanus, the other dogs, whatever dogs, and it's got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. What do you say to those people that say, okay, well, the Boerboel is one breed now, and now we just breeding to the same breed, to the same breed, to the same
But
breed?
it's not, because a lot of people are still continuing to mix other things because they're trying to build a certain look. Well, you
Oh,
know that. You know
okay.
that. I mean,
I
it,
want to
it,
know what
it
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
I'm
People aren't necessarily
keeping it.
walking in integrity, you know, because they're trying to outdo somebody else. It's like um, guys who are juicing to get certain levels of strength or whatever, as opposed to the guy who's doing it all naturally, you know, um, or these guys with these blow up muscles. I don't know what the shot is that they're giving them, but they got these big huge muscles that just like there's no form to it, just a big round whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you've got some implants in here in your arms. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's that's crazy. You know what I mean? But people want to cheat, and so well, what that cheat can get them, whatever that is, rupture inside their body. Now they dying. You know what I'm saying? And they want to take it out. Well, you really
Yeah,
didn't think about that before you put it in there, you know.
yeah,
Um,
long term. Yeah, yeah.
and so when when these guys are adding these different uh, breeds, um, and not thinking about what that breed was originally used for, and wonder why your dog acting different, or the temperament of your dog has changed or whatever, then you got to take all that into consideration before it happens. Hopefully, you'll research both breeds before you just try to interject something. Like take for instance, um, that the miniature Boerboel. What's the purpose of a miniature Boerboel?
What is it? Yeah,
Somebody had to do. They brought some outcross in to change that dog to
right.
make it small like that.
It's a lap dog, a Boerboel lap dog.
Why?
Yeah, I mean
Why?
that what they wanted to do. I don't know. I can't
Right,
I have it
right.
because it's
But
something that they did.
but
But
but guess what? The people that did it, they are now in positions of authority, huh?
yeah,
So
they
what you so
and
so
they
what you think they lining up to do, to change some stuff, change some stuff again,
okay.
because
So let me
now
ask let me ask you this. What do you say to those that said this is the way of the originators of the breed? The Boerboel breed was always a blend of all of these different breeds. So I'm not just playing devil's advocate here. I'm not saying that I agree with it or whatever, but the original breeders was breeding. I don't know. What do you say to that?
what were they? The original breeders were breeding what?
Remember when we was talking about contributing, all of those different breeds was contributing to make the dog the way that it is, this beautiful breed we have today. You said that, remember you said that the Boer was a bunch of different breeds, and the same thing with like the Ridgeback, the
But
Rhodesian.
I don't agree with that.
You don't?
No, no, because I'm saying people brought in different things uh, for their own ambition, but there were breeders in South Africa, because of their location, they were secluded. So the that seclusion helped aid in the different uh, variations, the different looks of the Boerboel. Same dog, same purpose, performed to protect farm and family, um, but they had some slightly differences, and you could see it in their heads. You know what I'm saying? As far
Mhm.
as the more mastiff, that joker with a head the size of a 5-gallon bucket. You know what I mean? Uh, you the ones who were uh, more of a hound type with a more slender head, or you see ones that are more terrier type. A lot of those are the ones whose ears are too small for their head. You ever seen that?
Yeah,
Where that big head with them little tiny ears? Like
yeah,
wow, you know. And but also that's the reason why some of those uh, terrier guys cut the put dogs' ears to hide that deformity.
mm,
Yeah. So if you start seeing Boerboels with clipped ears, you might want make you wonder if was his ears deformed before or what's going on there, you know? But um if a dog, you know, the head is important for whatever the job was that they wanted. You know what I'm saying? If that dog's head too small, then is the bite is not going to be as effective as it would, one with a larger head or a bigger jaw. Um, but I just read recently where the small, slimmer head is is um is a dominant trait.
yeah. The terrier is yeah. When you start going terrier, you can't get it mastiff back. So let me ask you this: what do you say to those that say you have a dog on the farm and you
Hmm.
raise pigs,
Hmm.
and I live on the farm and I have a dog and I raise cattle?
Hmm.
Both of us have farm dogs, correct?
True.
If I add something to mines to make mines more effective at cattle, and you add something different to yours to make it more effective at hogs, are they still farm dogs?
Yeah, they still on the farm. Yeah,
They still on the farm,
yeah.
but
Will they do the same function that you were looking for? I don't know. Uh,
and see, so
that'll
that's
come
the
to
way.
being tested.
The reason I say that is because different climates call for different style variations, right?
Right, right.
So
Well, obviously you wouldn't use a Chihuahua to move cattle. I mean, that Chihuahua may feel like it can move cattle, but I've seen my boy Raptor get in behind cows that jumped the fence, and I mean, a bull, as a matter of fact, kicked him in the head and knocked him about 20 feet back. He got back up and went right back at him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of
mm,
laying there, uh, yeah, I'm sure it hurt. Uh, yeah, he learned something. Not to be right there, to be more from the side. You know what I'm saying? But cows can kick on the side too.
mm,
But he learned also you got to be faster. You know, so certain dogs that can't handle that, they know that's not their thing, and you will find out real quick who can't handle it. I've got one when dogs engage a hog, she like, nah, we good. When everybody else run through the mud, she's like, nah, we good. Everybody else come out looking like a pig, just nasty, and she just straight clean.
yeah.
But that's what I call a Netflix puppy. She just want to lay on the sofa and watch TV with you. She ain't looking
Yeah,
for all that. She ain't looking for all that hype. She don't need that in her life. But again, um, I don't necessarily like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it has its place. It
Yeah,
sounds
it does.
it sounds to me, Mr. Price, like you got an intimate relationship. You know your dogs.
Yeah.
You do your thing. That's clearly an apparent. And you've been in this for how many years now?
And Boerboels was just dogs, period.
Boerboels.
Since 2018.
Since 2018. So you're going up on a decade. I just would like to salute you and give you your props because of what you're doing the natural way. It's almost like you're a throwback back into the days when dogs worked the farms and was necessary for that style. You got them doing the things that they do. You got your boys on the farm. The dogs is protecting them. They killing snakes. They killing coyotes. I just want to say, man, I really respect what you're doing. And don't let nobody deter you, stop you. The haters is gonna do what they do. They just gonna hate. And we got. I'm here. I got your back though, and I feel like that you need to be saluted. And I'm here to give you your flowers today. Give you
Well, I
doggy bones,
appreciate it.
many doggy bones out to Mr. Price at Integrity Boerboels and Walking in Faith. Before we go, tell us about the new stud that you brought in. Why did you do it like that?
Okay. Um, this the new male that I'm going to use. He doesn't live with me actually. He's owned by a retired special forces operator here in North Carolina, and this the dog is actually 7 years old, and he runs 5 miles a day with his owner. Um, so longevity is on his side, health is on his side. He's never been sick. He said the only issue he ever had was eating chicken flavored kibble, and he doesn't do that anymore. Um, and he said the dog just started graying last year. So I'm like, wow, uh, he looks great. He's a good looking dog. Um, I think that my girl compliments him in certain areas that where I think he's weak. But also he compliments my girl as well. Um, what I'm looking for is longevity and health. That's extremely important to me. Um, so he's a certified service dog. He goes into hospitals every day, interacting with wounded warriors. He goes to daycares and interact with children, and so he's a well balanced dog. You know what I'm saying? Um,
So you bring in a dog, even though your dog's health tested to the fullest, passing health test, and they healthy, it's still you choose to bring in a dog. You don't just breed them two dogs together just because they're healthy and
no, 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 no. I've done a DNA test on him as well.
right.
So that I know what I'm looking at, what I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? I want to know. Um, I'm not in the blind, so I don't want to bring anything into my camp that we can't deal with. You know, because I mean, at the end of the day, my puppy's going all over the country, and one day, Lord's will, all over the world. Um, I don't want children or families to be attacked, by my puppies, or
Right.
I don't want, um, I want my dog to get there in the right state of mind, able to do the job that it was designed to do.
So
And that's to love that family and protect them at all costs.
so for all the line breeders out there, why aren't you just breeding within your own health tested proven lines?
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, why do you have to go outside of your lines if your dogs is already tested and proven that is the goal to produce healthy dogs? Why can't you just breed father to the daughter?
Because you get that's all dogs have some genetic issues, and the closer they get, it start it start locking in traits, but it also can possibly very well bring up some bad traits
Right.
to surface that you don't want.
And
You know,
even though those dogs are health tested, what's known as spontaneous mutation can occur. And then you have a disease that arise out of dogs that were previously healthy.
right? It's like um people. You don't go marry your first cousin. That's too close to your mama and or your daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But people
Now
feel like that's the way
now
to
your
go with
second your second cousin. She get game on, baby. Nah, you know what
oh yeah, no, you from down south.
I'm saying?
okay, it's all
But
good.
you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
some people be like, well, Well, at least she ain't my sister. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
know,
They
you
really
know,
be on that too with these
yeah.
dogs. They really
But and the same thing here. But the of father and daughter breeding is doable. You don't keep going uh, and tightening that up even tighter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Um, but in order to be able to breed like that, you need the assurance that your lines are clear.
right, for
You
sure.
know,
You know
if
what?
you don't know that your lines aren't clear, or if you don't know what traits are being carried, and then you still try to breed like that, then you're gonna breed yourself into a problem, and not only that, you're gonna sell it to other people. You know, and the money that these dogs cost, that's a pretty big disappointment. You know what I mean? To unload those kind of problems on a family. I look at it like this right here, brother. Like I've shared my story about needing my dogs to help with mobility and issues with anxiety and depression. Um, now, I was someone who needed my dogs, that need my dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I think of other people who get my dogs. They need that dog. So if I deliberately sell them a problem or deliberately unload trash onto that family, then
You
I just rob them of their stability. You know what I'm saying? What they're fighting so desperately for, because they're gonna love the dog, but now he's got all these health problems, and every dime that they can that they can uh, rake, scrape, big bar, and steal is going to the vet to keep their dog alive. You
mm,
know what I'm saying?
that's
Whose
real.
fault is that? That's
Yeah,
you know that could have all been prevented with me. You see what I'm saying? The breeder. So you've got to look down the road like that, you know, or else uh, you're gonna destroy some homes. You know, like I shared with me and my wife. My wife is like, "Nope, we're not gonna spend that kind of money." Think about how many guys or girls who said their spouse said the same thing, and it destroyed their marriage if they went on and did it, or their family. You know what I'm saying? Some child lost the mom or dad, or the family split up because of a dog. You know, it sounds so simple, but it's real. It happens. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
I,
real.
I wouldn't marry a woman that wouldn't like don't like dogs. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I know it's gonna be a fight. Because my dog's got to come in the house sometime. You know what I'm saying? And she may not want dogs in the house. Now, she don't want her shoes chewed up. Okay, I understand that.
I can
Well, keep them
respect
out the
that.
floor.
Yeah. Get your shoes up. Keep your shoes out the dog's area.
Hey, so it happens. But and kids that grow up without puppies, um, a boy's most young boys' first love uh, is a puppy, and a lot of women they'll learn quick that they don't compare to that puppy. You know what I'm saying? Uh, at times when in his life, you know, yeah, she's very important, but it's something inside that puppy can touch because
Yeah.
he's been there as a child. You know what I'm
Oh, man. Yep. The whole way. They're down there on their eye level. My little baby, let me show y'all this real quick. And then we
saying?
gonna pull off, y'all. We gonna pull off after this. But yeah, man, that's pure love. My baby, we brought the dog home. We brought the dog home, her little puppy, and that's how we bond. That's how
Yeah,
I'm getting in, building our relationship.
yeah,
It's through this dog, man.
yeah,
And here you go, right here. Let's see if this comes up. I don't know. There she go. Look at
yeah,
mama. You see her?
Oh yeah.
See my young puppy.
Yeah. Oh man,
Hey, and
beautiful.
that baby, she's so happy. She's so
Yeah.
happy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She trying to
Absolutely.
keep up with dad and she's running and stuff, man.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
pure love right there,
Yeah.
bro.
It's
It don't,
priceless.
yeah, it's priceless. And growing up, and she comes home, she looking for that dog. They have their thing, they busy, and that stimulation, that mind is healthy off the TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She knows to treat the dog gentle and be
Right.
kind. You know what I
Right.
mean? She learning respect for the dog.
Right.
Don't hurt the dog. The dog is a responsibility. We gotta feed it. We gotta give it water, and that's
Correct.
what that they need that these days. Sense of responsibility.
Absolutely.
Okay, it say no sound. It say no sound. All good. Okay. Well, yeah, man. I thank you so much. I don't want to take up too much of your time, Mr. Price. We definitely got to have you back. I appreciate you for being here today, spending time with me, coming back on. We had technical difficulties. We got it together though. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, and keeping your word said, doing everything that you do and being who you are, man. I really felt like, I'm glad that we able to do this because man, I'm tired of seeing that slander you. You know what I mean? They try to play you everywhere you go. They want to try to jump on you and stuff, man. Like, hold
Well,
on, Mr.
the thing about it, brother, I remain the same no matter what. So I don't lie. So I don't have to try to remember what I said. You ask me again, you hear the same thing. Because that's what I live by. Integrity is not only our brand; it's my life. That's what I live by. That's how I raise my children. And my family, and I'm comfortable with that. I sleep better with that. Knowing that I didn't get over on someone or take advantage of a situation when I could have. Um, I'm like I said, man. I want to see my dogs love and give loved. Because that's what they do, and they do it great.
They
You
do it.
know, yeah. Heck
Yeah.
yeah, man.
I see
Heck
the
yeah.
people with your dogs. I see the people. They shout you out. All right, Mr. Price. We'll catch up with you. I'm gonna close it out here. I'm gonna say a few words and then we out. All right.
All right. God bless you, brother.
Peace, bro. Yeah. Well, I hope that y'all really enjoyed that. I did. And some insider views. Mr. Price is really doing this thing with them dogs down in North Carolina. If y'all get a chance, check him out I think he's got some videos up on YouTube for sure. I'll post the link in the chat in the description. Check him or a simple Google search should bring him up. Integrity Boerboel Kennels. But it's a pleasure to be able to do this. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna check in with Savage and see if he wants to do the thing like Shay Shay, Cubs, Shannon Sharp, and Ocho Cinco, and do it after. Just thinking about that makes me laugh. Shannon Sharp crazy. Shannon Sharp is wild. I like Uncle Shay Shay because he got a Boerboel too. He was gonna get it from me, but I didn't have one in time. I don't have puppies all the time. So yeah, just thinking about the whole little latest thing. But I will hook up with Savage and see if he would give us a opportunity to do a after party off of every episode and interview the guests. Thanks for joining, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. As always, I'm gonna keep on giving it my all. Make sure that you do your best. Give it your best shot. You make every minute. Don't take nothing for granted because you just don't know. Things change in a matter of moments. I appreciate y'all, everybody. Don't forget that we got the Alpha Dog Showdown coming up September 21st. It's gonna be super lit. AT&T gonna be there. We're gonna be broadcasting live at the Hampton Coliseum. Be there. Meet me there. It's gonna be super duper lit, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Much love, y'all. Peace.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal run up. No rush, go on, move dumb.